Hi, and welcome to episode 21 of the Geek Press podcast. Before we get this episode started, if you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really mean a lot. And whatever audio platform you're listening to us on, please be sure to follow us and give us a good review. Help us climb the top of the charts. But on this episode, we cover a lot. We talk about Gamescom, we talk about the Spiderman trailer, we talk about Rudy's dating life and how fun that can be, apparently. And with all that being said, we had a lot of fun recording the podcast, and I hope you guys have fun listening to the podcast. Without further ado, let's get this show started. Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Luis Gutierrez with the Geek Press, and welcome to another episode 21. I am joined with, of course, my co-host, Noah Garcia, Force a Habit. And we're joined by friend of the show, Rudy, who does not have a last name. He only goes by Rudy.
Yeah, that's it.
So we got a lot to talk about on this. We're gonna Gamescom is going on. Well, I think it's still happening right now. I think it ends on Saturday of this week. I should know this, but I forgot. But we're gonna talk a little bit about what I watched at Gamescom and my thoughts and reactions to stuff. And then Noah has some stuff to talk about Titans and Spiderman. And Rudy wants to talk about dating.
I had 2 dates this week set up. I'm on fire, you guys. Let's see how it goes.
So let's start off the show like how we usually do. Noah, anything you've been watching, reading, etc.? What have you been consuming? Tell us.
Hello. It's great to be back on the show. I appreciate coming back every single time. I've been reading an autobiography by Gordon Parks, who is like one of my favorite photographers, and he's a bit of a director. And it's kind of itself autobiographical, but it's also kind of like how he operates as an artist, and it's really interesting. And as for watching, as you said, Titans, and just a lot of YouTube. I didn't realize this week how much YouTube I actually watch. So I need to flip back into shows because there are a lot of shows I want to keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nothing crazy. But what about? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What about you, Rudy? What have you been watching?
Watching nothing. I started grad school this week, so what I've been reading though.
Nerd.
Whoa! According to my calculations, that's a foul right there. You can't be saying that. But I have a fat stack of books I got to read about Latin America. Some really good books. Books about indigenous women, how they're subjugated, history of Mexico. So I'm excited. I'm excited to read through every single one.
For people who aren't aware of your life, you are pursuing a master's degree in Chicano studies, right?
Latin American
studies. There we go.
Yeah, Cal State LA. That's right. Go Eagles! Or I don't know what the noise that the Eagles make. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So first week, hopefully I'm done in 2 years. Hopefully I survive because it's gonna be crazy. I have a lot of homework to do. Probably shouldn't be on here. I should be doing homework.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can just go.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just pretend to be you this entire podcast.
Like, hey,
Transformers.
Roll out.
As for me, I have been playing a lot of Mass Effect again. I just beat the second one, and I started the last one. Yeah, it was actually surprising because I was looking at how long it took me to beat the second one. It took me 55 hours or like 58 hours to beat that game. Wow. Like the route I did. So I was like, oh fuck, that was a pretty lengthy game for me. But I enjoyed like every second of it, so I'm not really getting upset. And I just started playing Psychonauts 2, which is a direct sequel to the original Psychonauts that came out back in the day. And God, I never beat the first one. I only got maybe like an hour or two in. But fuck, it is such a fun game, and it's really cool because like it tackles like a lot of like mental illnesses and like stigmas and stuff. And it's a really fun game, and it shines a light on mental illness, and so it's a nice change of pace.
Hey, that's cool. Yeah, because in my mind, I'm thinking, why release it now? Like, why now? Well, it took them so long to release the part 2. But you're right. Like, as far as like going on in society today, right, with the stigma of mental health and having your mental health day and keeping that healthy, that's the most important thing. So it's okay. So that's cool. That
in the intro level, it's like introducing you to like the grunts that you're going to be fighting throughout the game. And then, like, there's a part where he was like, oh, like, cause you go inside people's heads and you're like you see them like for what they really are and what they fear and whatnot, you know. And he was like, he has a lot of regret in his head, and regret is like this monster that like drags you down and drops like bombs on you.
Oh,
And then your
cool.
character is like, is regret bad? He was like, yes, regret is really bad. You have to learn to let it go. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. You know, it's
That's
like
cool.
that game is riddled with like how to improve yourself, you know? So that's really cool. That's really,
In
really
a
cool.
creative way too. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
The way
most
they have a
definitely.
boss battle that drops bombs. Yeah, because regret drags you down. That's pretty cool. I feel like playing it now.
And
Maybe I'll get an Xbox
you say that every week.
every time.
And I finally finished the Bad Batch. That was a really good ending. It was really heartfelt. Really, really
Ooh,
heartfelt.
I've been meaning to finish it.
All right, I'll be spoiler free, but it's like it's super
It's
heartfelt.
good. Hurry up though.
And I started watching Archer, the new season of Archer. And fuck, I missed that show.
There's
And
a new season. It's still
yeah,
going on. No
and
way.
I'm a little sad because as I was watching it, I remembered the voice actress for Archer's mom passed away. So
Oh,
I was just
Aw.
like this is probably the last thing she's ever in, you know? And so I'm just like, oh man, this is such a shame that like, because she's like such a pivotal character in the show, but it's also such a shame to like thinking like, damn, like this woman is no longer here, but I'm still listening to her work. Like it's still new, you know?
she lives on.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a weird thing, you know? Yeah, we got a
Yeah,
little deep right there.
Damn.
I've seen very little of Archer, but when I have seen episodes, she was always very funny.
Mm-hmm.
That character, and I love the delivery of that actress. So she always seemed really great.
Oh,
Yeah.
is she the actress that was also in Arrested Development?
Yes. It's literally the same
Oh,
exact character she plays. It's fucking awesome.
I
yeah.
respect that. She's just like, so we have an idea for a character. Yeah, Arrested Development. Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's so good at that, She's so good at the
Mhm.
sassy mom or
You're saying I can do the
yeah,
same character, but
yeah,
none of the. I don't have to act. I can just do
yeah.
my voice. All right, let's do it.
But let's carry on with the topics now.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to talk a few things. I'm probably just gonna kind of steamroll through them.
Mhm.
So
Sure.
like I was saying, Gamescom happened is going on right now, and I was watching opening night while I was still employed at my job. Also, I got fired, by the way, guys. And
Ooh.
um, yeah, I was watching the opening night live at my job, and they opened up super hot with the reboot of Saints Row, and I was like, holy shit, this looks so fun. Just because like the first two Saints
Mhm.
Row games were kind of meant to be like a Grand Theft Auto like game. They
I
were
remember.
meant to compete with GTA. It was like you're a gangbanger, you're the hard streets of a fictional city, you know? And and then Saints Row 3 came along and they're like, fuck it, we don't want to be a GTA ripoff. We want to be our own thing. And it just kind of went into this wackiness. And then it just continued on that way. So we're like in Saints Row 4, you become the president of the United States and you're fighting aliens in the fucking Matrix to like save all of humanity. And so this one right here is a reboot, and they said like they're going back to their origins. But what I like about from the trailer they showed, because it's kind of like a bunch of like hipster kids, you know, but it's like it's a good blend between seriousness and goofiness. So it's like if you're a fan of, I've loved every single one of the Saints Row games, but the first two have a very special place in my heart. And so I was like, dang, it's cool to see them go back to the realism, but still maintain the identity they formed of being like goofy and wacky and fun. So I'm really excited for when the game comes out in February 25th, I think, of next year. So it's like right around the corner.
Oh,
Mhm.
just in time. I've never played any of the games. I saw their advertisements when I was little, but I was always a Grand Theft Auto kid. So I was like, well, why am I going to play Saints Row? I'd rather put my money in for Grand Theft Auto. So
That's
I
probably a
missed
better
out on
bet
that. Yeah.
too. Honestly, it's
Yeah,
probably.
yeah,
Hmm.
maybe. But like, I remember seeing like all the sandbox activities you could do.
Hmm.
And that was pretty cool. Just like just messing around because that's what you do in Grand Theft Auto too. You just
Yeah.
run people over, steal money, slap hoes. So like, so I like the fact that Saint Row kind of capitalized on that, whereas
Hmm.
Grand Theft Auto
Like
again,
in Saints Row 3, that's when they go goofiness. Like the Saints, that's the name of your gang. They become like this corporation, and it just becomes there's this one level which I really enjoyed because it really like I've always liked the luchadors, but it really made me like luchadors even more because one of the main bosses is a luchador wrestler, and you have to get into the ring with him and fight him, and
Cool.
like you have to like you throw out like a chainsaw and you're like cutting up his goons in half, and then at the end of the fight you have a choice, and this is where I learned this is the ultimate disrespect in the luchador community. You could demask him. Yeah, you could demask him.
You cannot demask another wrestler.
Yeah, you could demask him, or you could keep his, or you could not demask him. And if you don't demask him, he'll like owe you a favor or something like that. That will come into play. And so that it was. I remember that level so fondly because it's so fun, you know. But yeah. So that's Saints Row right there. I'm really excited about that. And I'm gonna jump into another one, which was they showed off gameplay of Call of Duty Vanguard, the new Call of Duty game coming out. And I was looking at it, I was like, this looks fun. You know, I'm always like, I was kind of like, I was very team like fuck Call of Duty, and I'm still kind of leaning that way. But the sorry, I kind of had to burp. But the campaigns of Call of Duty have always been fun, even though they're all like kind of like it's like an MCU movie. You know what you're getting, but it's still good delivery, and especially too because the main campaign is gonna have Laura Bailey, who's like a really respected voice actor in the voice acting community. Like she's most popularly known for voicing who's the girl in The Last of Us? What's her name? Ellie.
I don't know.
She voices Ellie in The Last of Us.
I thought you meant
sorry. And then she voices Kate Diaz in Gears of War. She's and in a lot of other things too. Like she's been in just about every video game you could think of. And I was looking at the gameplay and I was like, this looks fun. And then I was looking at like at the end of the day, I play Call of Duty for the multiplayer. And then I was watching Dr. Disrespect stream some Call of Duty multiplayer today with the new one. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get this. It's the same thing. So I mean, I might get it if all my boys get it and they kind of like bug me to get it, but I'm not really leaning towards it. And oh man, I'm really just kind of steamrolling through this so we can make time. And the last one, which was got me really, really excited, was Halo Infinite finally got a release date. And a lot of people were like really concerned. They're like, is Halo coming out this year? Because they haven't made a release date, this and that, yada yada yada.
They delayed it, right? It was supposed to come out last year.
It was supposed to come out alongside the Xbox Series X and S, but it just had a lot of backlash. People were like, oh, it doesn't look good enough, yada yada yada, so they pushed it back and like just polished the fuck out of the game. And people were like, oh, and a lot of people were guessing that they haven't released the release date yet because they don't want to compete with Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is kind of like it's one of those games every year you know it's going to do gangbusters and you never want to go against Call of Duty, you know. You want to give Call of Duty its room because it's the monster that it is, love it or hate it. And so that's exactly what happened. Call of Duty announced a release date for Vanguard, which is like sometime in November, I want to say. Okay. And then literally like the next fucking day or like a day or two later, if my memory's serving me right, Halo was like, all right, we're coming out December 8th. So that's like exactly.
That's they were just waiting. Yeah.
It was just a game of chicken.
And well, so that's cool. They're both just in for the holidays, right?
Yeah, and I'm really excited about that too, especially because like Halo's gonna be on Game Pass, so it's not gonna be like another penny off my back. I'm just gonna be able to like download it as soon as it comes out.
Get into it.
And what was really cool about this too is they like man, I was super upset that I didn't get my hands on it, but so I have an Elite Xbox controller, which, you know, I'm showing it to these guys, but you can't watch it because this is an audio podcast. But what makes the Pro controller
describe it, Lewis.
What makes the Pro controller so unique and so like appraised by like everyone is that it has button pads on the side, and you guys could hear me press them right now, your audio listeners. So that way you don't have to like when you game, you usually have to move your right thumb to press the buttons, but this way you could just use your index fingers to press the buttons, so you never have. Cool. So that, and also too, like it has like an extremely long battery life, and it's like really durable, and you could like change the analog sticks, but yeah, it's really appraised and as one of the best controllers out there. And then they announced that they were making a Halo a Halo edition of this controller, and I was like, holy fuck, let me get it. As soon as I go to get it, fucking scalpers just immediately bought them all up. And I was like, fuck. So I was really hurt by that. And then what I thought was extremely funny, and I was like, come on, Microsoft, fucking read a room. Like, it's extreme. Like, you could, at least for me, I could find an Xbox Series S just about anywhere on Target right now. It's fucking hilarious. But if you want to get an Xbox Series X or any PlayStation 5, you can't find them at all. They're extremely hard to find. And Microsoft was like, we're releasing a limited edition Halo Infinite Xbox Series X, and I'm like, motherfuckers can't even get their hands on the regular one, and here you are releasing a limited edition. Like, come on. Like, it looks dope, don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, you fucking you assholes.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they were just building more hype for that.
But like, did they show any Halo footage? Any new Halo footage? I haven't personally seen it. I'm pretty excited.
They didn't show any like. So there was a multiplayer beta that happened a few weeks ago, and a campaign trailer a few weeks ago too, I want to say, or maybe a month ago. They didn't show any of that, but what they're kind of doing, they showed a trailer because for something else, and I'll get into that right now. So what games like Call of Duty and Fortnite are doing, and I'm gonna wrap this all together, is like every season, they have like cutscenes, and they have a cohesive storyline that starts at the end of at every season, you know. So they're like, in Call of Duty, for instance, like fucking satellite debris would be falling from the sky, and at the start of that season, they'll have a cutscene of like fucking terrorists shooting down satellites, and like that's why the satellites are coming down, you know. So Halo is following that trend. So for season 1 of the Halo multiplayer, it started with this girl like training these Spartans, saying, oh, Spartans are pillars of hope, they're this and that, giving this inspirational speech to all like these recruits. And then you see her and she has like a butterfly necklace, and she's like, you see her back in the day, and then you see her as a Spartan with the butterfly insignia on her Spartan armor giving a speech to all these recruits. And it's showing her like, and it's all cinematics, but it looked really cool. And it's like her kind of like running through the city about to get killed by a whole bunch of Covenant, and all these Spartans come out of nowhere and rescue her. And then like flash forward, now she's like a drill sergeant like helping recruits. So that was like the only really thing that we saw as regards to like gameplay or story, even though that's not going to be in the main story of Halo.
All right, it's just the hype game at this point, right? They're just trying to hype you up.
Yeah, they really haven't showed much of the campaign at all, and I'm just kind of like, I'm not worried. I'm like, fucking tell me, I want to know. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't want to ruin the secret. So I'm kind of happy they're not showing too much of the campaign, because like no one really knows what the story is going to be about for the most part, and I kind of like that. I'm like, keep it that way. I want to.
The only thing we know is that there's another Halo ring, right? So here we go again.
Yeah, and that's real. I'm cool with that, because I'm like,
yeah,
I want to know because I'm impatient, but I'm like, I'd rather wait and play it and find out for myself. But that was pretty much everything that I kind of saw at Gamescom. Again, I was working most of the time when I was employed because I got fired.
Why you got fired? Because you're watching GameCon.
Right? Yeah, that's exactly what they're like. Lewis, if you watch another second of this stream, you're fired. And I was like, hold on. They're talking about Halo. But I was rambling for a bit, so I'm gonna pass it to you, Noah. I know you got some stuff to say.
Me? Well, I want to say I didn't want to interrupt your flow, but I
thank you guys too for not interrupting my flow.
Xbox fans. I'm not gonna talk about. I noticed that a lot of them are very.
Wait, hold on. Time out.
To Xbox.
Time out. Can I intervene really quick? Not about that.
Yeah.
I also want to give some love to Hideo Kojima, just because he's amazing and I love him. And he was talking about like Death Stranding's like director's cut, and usually I've been kind of very upset about PlayStation releasing director's cuts, because I'm like, you guys are fucking assholes, you know, why are you charging for this? Well, I don't think they're charging for this, but I just think it's lazy. They're like, oh, here's the extended version, dude, and they're building a hype. But when I saw Hideo Kojima do it, I was like, you know what, you get a pass. You get a pass.
I don't think anyone hates Hideo online. He's always tweeting fun things.
Also too, there's a few things. This is for you, specifically you, Noah. Horizon Forbidden West, or for the new one coming out, Forbidden Dawn. I don't know.
Yeah.
They finally got like a release date for like February, I think. So that's something you might be interested in, right? Because I know you were a big fan of that. I remember you talking to me a lot about it.
Rudy and I are planning on splitting the cost of a PS5 and just playing it at my house because he doesn't trust his family.
Yeah, so, I'm just waiting for them to become available. That's all.
Okay, I'm sorry, but continue with what you were saying. I just remembered that, and I was like, you would appreciate some PlayStation news.
I did appreciate it. Xbox fans are very loyal, and I think that's pretty cool because it's very hard to launch a new console when you don't have one of its flagship titles to go along with it.
Because at least PlayStation had Spiderman and stuff.
Which, even though Spider-Man is a huge part of PlayStation, it's not entirely, intertwined with the brand. Halo is Xbox, 100%. It's iconic, and I say that as someone who's a PlayStation person. Halo is iconic, and it goes hand in hand with Xbox. So the fact that of course, there's complaining, but I see a lot of people online are still like, okay, we have to wait and we're annoyed, but take your time because we're excited for Halo. And the fact that they delayed it and it didn't go along with the console launch and they're giving it a bit more time to develop, I think that's really nice. I say nice like it's not like a decent thing to do because we're so used to everyone being rushed in this industry. Like the moment they're given like a little bit of a leeway, I'm like, oh, that's so nice. But no, they should be given the time. They have the time.
Yeah, exactly, and especially too because like I'm very much like I'm very passionate about video games, and it's like at the end of the day, none of these people want to release a bad game. No one wants to release a game that's not going to entertain you, that's not going to like provoke you in some emotional way. You know, that's
especially
not their
Halo.
job.
Yeah, like sheesh. I've been playing that since I was a little kid.
Exactly. I remember my brother coming home with the original Xbox with this game called Halo, and I was like, "The fuck is this?" Yeah, I was like, "Some green space dude with a gun,
dude, an alien.
Let's go."
Grenades. Yeah. And then part 1, part 2, part 3, they're all great, and then 4 and maybe 5 was maybe it could have been a little better, but then hopefully so. It's been a ride. It's been a ride for Halo fans. I myself, I haven't played Halo 5 because by then my Xbox broke. So, I can skip. There you go. That's what I've been hearing. A lot of fans were upset about it. So this one has to make it good. This one has to make up for part 5. And it's how long has it been? Almost more than 20 years, right?
So yeah, that's the thing too. So the original Xbox had 2 Halos. It had Halo 1 and Halo 2. The Xbox 360 had Halo 3, Halo ODST, Halo Reach, and then Halo Wars. That's 4 Halos right there.
Yeah.
Even though you could kind of count Halo Wars if you want because it's a totally like different game. But then the Xbox One had Halo 5. Well, it had the Master Chief Collection, which was Halo, like all the Halos wrapped into one, except the Wars. And then it had Halo 5 and then Halo Wars 2. But Halo 5 was so critically bad. It was like so badly received. They were like, all right, we got to go back to the drawing board. So it's been like Halo 5 came out like close to like 5 or 6 years ago. It's been a minute since there's been a new Halo.
Long time, yeah. And even then, before the gap between Halo 4 and Halo 5 were also ridiculously long, if I remember correctly. So it feels. You know what? I keep saying every week maybe I'll get an Xbox, but maybe this is the reason why because I was an Xbox kid, and Noah, you said to yourself a little earlier that Xbox they have such a fan base and we're loyal to it. Even though I keep saying that I'm going to get a PlayStation. But now my heart it's tugging towards the Xbox. It's calling me. I want to play a Master Chief. I want to hit grunts in the face, throw grenades at elites, the sticky grenades, the plasma grenades.
All I'm saying is too, like if you guys like again, I know I'm a big Xbox fanboy, but if you guys put in like 100 like 125 each or like 150 each, you could get a Series S like hella cheap.
Well, no, we have some talking to do.
do you like having the physical copies or do you prefer digital? Because with the Series X, you can go all digital. You don't have to worry about the.
You gotta save the environment, so just go digital. Why you gotta purchase all that plastic and stuff?
I got the S for my girlfriend, and she doesn't care about any of that stuff. And she it's like a Game Pass machine for her.
She wants to play the game. Yeah.
Can I play Fortnite on it?
I'm sorry, no, I derailed you from your topic, so you continue.
Can I play Fortnite on it?
You can.
Okay, I'm just detracting from everything. This is just a video game podcast now. Isn't it crazy that Fortnite is bringing all these different properties together? Isn't that insane?
Speaking of Fortnite,
Like
um,
DC, Marvel, Disney, I believe, freaking Rick and Morty, like so, Snake Eyes, freaking, it's crazy.
yeah. Speaking of Fortnite,
Insane.
I'm really happy you brought that up because I completely forgot about this. I didn't know how to feel about this. I was like,
Mhm.
I was like, I'm not, like, I'm not a black person. I am, I am a person of color, but I am not.
Oh,
Oh,
be
do you
careful
mean the
what you're gonna
Martin Luther
say
King
next,
thing?
Lewis. Man, just kidding.
Yeah, but I am not black at the end of the day. Like I am brown, but I am. This isn't. I get it. I get it. I just didn't know how to feel about it. But then a lot of like black content creators I follow were like on board with this. I was like, okay, you know what? If they're cool with it, I'm cool with it. It's just like kind of like I didn't know how to feel about it at first, and it's because Fortnite is gonna have an interactive like virtual museum, and they're gonna like talk about all about MLK and everything he did, and Fortnite's gonna host this event, and I was like, okay, like that, this is cool, but then
It's
like
a
a
little
lot,
random.
yeah, exactly. I was like Fortnite of all places, but then I saw like a lot of like black content creators were saying like,
Mhm.
this is good. They're educating people, and video games is a
Yeah.
great place to do that for kids. And I was like, huh, you're right, because my first thought was like, you're gonna have some fucking trolls go in here and start like dicking around and like
Mhm.
start shouting bigotry, and so that's where my mind instantly went, because I was like,
Mhm.
you're gonna have dipshits like that doing that. But
Uh,
I
I,
oh, go
I'd
for it.
like to say that Epic actually disabled almost all the emotes during the whole Martin Luther King Jr. experience.
Hmm.
There were only like 8 available, and many of them were not, or like sitting, or some sort of like something that's very respectful. They disabled
Okay.
a bunch
Okay,
Okay.
of
that's
the
good.
emotes.
That's a smart thing to do. Yeah, you
Hmm.
can't just let it free reign
Mhm.
because, like you said yourself,
Hmm.
Lewis, there's gonna be a bunch of dipshits and assholes out there just gonna
Yeah.
troll,
And
and
then
that's all
I
they're
had
gonna do.
saw like little clips like of the promotional footage, and I was like, this actually looks kind of cool. Where it was like, they had like museums where like the characters could like
Mhm.
sit down, and like it was like, you know straight up like documentaries of MLK and like his stuff and what he did and blah blah
Mhm.
blah.
Yeah.
So I was like, huh, this is cool, but it's just I initially I didn't know how to feel about it, you know?
Mhm. I think it's a
It,
very interesting thing to do, in the sense that this game is a way for its audience to really experience uh its younger audience, because that's who it's mostly directed to, because of
Hmm.
course adults play Fortnite as well, but to kind of experience socialization, gaming culture, like kind of baby's first shooter, really.
Hmm.
And it's just it's kind of this weird double-edged thing where you introduce this thing, and they can of course like absorb it and really understand the message, but at the same time, like 15 years ago, they'll see a picture, 15 years from now they'll see a picture
The
of
liberals
Martin
are
Luther
trying
King
to
Jr.
do
No, they'll be
this.
like,
mm,
oh, that's the guy from Fortnite. They're not
Oh
going to be like, oh,
yeah.
that's the civil rights activist who was murdered by the CIA. They'll be like, oh, that was the guy
I didn't
from
think about
Fortnite.
that. Yeah, you're right.
that's a good point.
So it's interesting because, like, for instance, there was a gamer, um there's a guy who got banned. He was called like the Christian gamer, and he was terrible. He would go on Fortnite and preach the word of God, and not that that's terrible, but he would tell like kids they're gonna go to hell,
Oh, fuck
stuff like
him.
that. But the point is, like, you can bring a message like that onto that platform, and you have to realize that some people are going to take you seriously, and otherwise other people are just going to trivialize it. So it's kind of a pick your battles, double-edged sword type of thing when you introduce a concept like that into the game.
Yeah, you're right. What do
Um,
you think of something like that,
uh,
Rudy?
Yeah,
it
what do you think,
sounds it
Rudy?
sounds interesting. I'll be good. It's a new way for kids to learn. Um, Call me old fashioned, though. Nothing like going to a good old museum.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully this encourages kids. Maybe it could. Maybe it would encourage kids
Mhm.
to go to over to Exposition Park and check out the Museum of African American Art, or go to the California African American Museum, because they have excellent exhibits of the Black experience here in
Mhm.
America, and I'm sure they dwell deep
Mhm.
into to Martin Luther King, the Museum of Tolerance as well. So maybe this is a good stepping stone. I'm all for it. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Any way for kids to learn.
I think too,
Uh,
especially like in places where they're more like super super conservative, like where they're straight up racist, you know. Like I think
Yeah.
this would help like a lot of kids like open their eyes, like oh shit, like you know. So I see
And
how this could have the potential to help now that I'm actually kind of
yeah,
talking about it out loud.
and then you said it yourself too, like oh, like I haven't played the Xbox Live in years, but like how many times have you heard
Mm.
the
Oh,
N word thrown around, right? You know, so like maybe this will teach some kids to like, hey, wait a minute, like this is the impact that I'm leaving by saying this word or saying something discriminatory or not being tolerant towards other players because it's very easy to lose yourself when you're playing a game, right?
oh yeah.
Like oh you son of a
I often have
bitch.
to catch
I hear so
myself.
much
I'm
stuff.
like, all right,
Yeah.
I gotta chill out, you know.
Maybe for us adults, because when I first heard, it was like that's random. Like, why? Like, what's the point of this? But you know, now we're talking about right now. It's a good stepping
Yeah,
stone for the kids. This is for
especially
the kids.
yeah, especially too like when I play a lot of like Call of Duty, like in between rounds, like we'll be shit talking, but it's like game related. Like, ah, you got shit on. How'd you like that no
Yeah, yeah,
scope? But then like you hear someone shut up, you blank. And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, all right,
Oh
man. Like,
damn, god damn,
we
yeah,
were talking about the game. No need to
yeah.
like
We're
I
talking
get
about your mama. We're not.
yeah.
Whoa. Why are we talking about race? Why are
I
we
like
talking about color?
I
You
get
know?
it if you say like, oh, you a bitch or your mama is it, but
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that comes with this gaming territory. But I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, instantly shut up, you blank, you this, and I'm like, wow, fucking Christ, you know.
Like that just takes like playful teasing into like something
Mm-hmm.
horrific. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, what are you doing?
So Noah, with all that being said, do you want to talk about
Mhm.
Spider-Man or Titans again, or do you want to keep
I
talking
don't
about
know.
video games?
We're just talking about video games.
Because
This whole podcast just turned into a video game podcast,
I've
which
been
I am fine with.
I've
It's been a good video game week. You know,
yeah,
there's
it
a lot to say
has,
this week.
and I was a little disappointed. I haven't played it yet myself. I
Mhm.
plan on buying it, but they came out with the Aliens game. It was like a Left 4 Dead
Oh
style
yeah,
Aliens.
Mhm.
And
heard about it.
shout out to
How's it looking?
Austin Wintory who's composed it. He's a phenomenal composer. I've played a few of his games that he's like worked that he scored, and it's really great. And he
Mhm.
scored that game, but the game overall kind of got like a 6 and a 7. So I'm like, oh
Uh,
man, I'm like, this has so much potential to be good, but like the general consensus, like it's not all that. Because
what's the problem though?
I,
Because like I'm getting Colonial Marine vibes
I
from
saw
this video game.
I saw IGN say it gets like repetitive and stuff.
Mm,
And it's like
Mhm.
if you play like a few hours of the game, you've pretty much played the game. And so,
mm.
Mhm.
but like that could be kind of said about like Left 4 Dead or something like
True.
yeah. If you
Yeah.
play a little bit of Left 4 Dead, you played the whole game. That could be said about Call of Duty. That could be said just about any game
It's
to be
true.
perfectly honest. So it's just like I'm like, ooh, fuck, I don't know. I gotta try it out for myself, but then it's like that risk, where it's like, oh, fuck, you know.
I'm very iffy with Alien games. I think the last good Alien game was Alien versus Predator. That's the last
Mm-hmm.
one I played. That was a pretty good game. But Alien Colonial Marines, I was hyped up about it. The trailer was badass. And then the graphics, they always kind of make it look good, put a little makeup on the trailer just to make it
Mm-hmm.
look good. But then, and those trailers like, oh, this is actual gameplay, like, oh wow,
But
this
it's like
looks cool.
run on
But
like a mega computer with.
yeah, man. But then when you actually play the game itself, that
Mhm.
same thing happened with Colonial Marines. It was underwhelming and
I
it was just terrible. Yeah,
I
a
think the
lot of fans were
last
disappointed by
Aliens
it.
game that came out was just called Aliens, and I never beat it because like that game was actually
Mhm.
really difficult for me.
Shoot, you're
But
right. That was the good
it
one.
was like a game where you just the whole game you're running from an alien, and the alien learns as you play, so you can't really use the same trick twice.
Then I take it all back. I'm a fraud. Then I heard that was a good game.
Yeah.
Okay, that made up for the past terrible games. But now we're taking another step back. Then with this video game, we had to go with Alien, and now Colonial Marine step back, step forward for Alien. Now we're taking another step back. I was like, come on, give us the horror.
Yeah. But
We,
you
we
know
tried
what?
action games. It's
But
not working
you know
out.
what I'm excited for
Horror,
though?
horror in
Oh,
video
go for it.
games is always weird.
Yeah.
No, I was saying horror in video games, it can sometimes be a hard thing to really pull off.
But they did
Unless
it so well with Alien.
mhm.
Mhm.
But you know what also did something really well was the
Me, everything.
Spider-Man No Way Home trailer.
You're right. You're right. I saw that. You know what? I'm pretty. Well, Noah and I we're waiting for you
We talked about it.
We were ranting. We were ranting. So I'm gonna let Noah talk.
And no one hit
I'm sure he has a
record.
lot. Yeah, here we go. Noah has a lot to say. So here we go. What's on your mind, friend?
What I'm
He
gonna
just
say
saw
I
the trailer too.
understand
Like this is fresh in his
Yeah.
head.
I just saw the trailer today. I think it's very interesting that you take two very underdeveloped characters in the MCU and kind of give them the spotlight. And it's kind of like they need it. They need more time and attention. And I'm worried that with the concept of the multiverse and whether or not Maguire and Andrews come in, like no matter what their role is, they're gonna steal the show.
Oh yeah.
And I wish Peter had more time by himself. I wish he had more time. I wish this whole reveal thing could have been pushed back till later. I just wish the character had more time because I like all the actors. I like the ideas of like Ned and his and Flash and even a younger Aunt May. I don't care. Like that's fine. But it's just I wish they had more time to themselves because the moment you bring in this multiverse stuff, you bring in all these heavy hitters. The focus isn't going to be on this Spider-Man, even though he's going to help drive the story along. I just don't think anything's going to come from this. And I understand just having fun with a movie, but I just know Spider-Man could be so much better.
But would you say too, like this way, this is like a way of helping introduce the multiverse? Like they're like, we need to do it now, and we need to make like, how else would you have it make sense in like the MCU landscape as of now?
In Doctor Strange Multiversal of Madness.
But wouldn't you say like, this is like, well, okay, hold on, let me back up. Wouldn't you say Doctor Strange's movie is going to be an accumulation of everything that's happened? It's like, you know, started with Wanda, then Loki, and now it's Spider-Man. So it's like the domino effect, and now the last one's going to fall, and Doctor Strange is like, fuck me, I kind of fucked up here. Like, I let one too many
yeah, that's
slip.
what they're doing, but I don't think it's really necessary.
You
didn't have to have the hint of magic to introduce the concept of magic in his movie.
True. What about you, Rudy? What you think?
You know what? Noah brought up a good point because the entire trailer, I was hoping to see Tobey Maguire. I was hoping to see Doc Ock again. That was where my eyes were focused on. I don't give a crap about the new Spider-Man. I want to see my boy Tobey again. You know, I want to see him fight. Oh, and when I saw the Green Goblin grenade, I was like, oh shit, they're bringing back Green Goblin's cool. So like, I'm excited for that too. I could really care less about the current. Yeah, you're right, because it takes away the scope of damn. What's his actor? What's the actor's playing?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Tom.
My
Tom
good
Holland
old boy
takes away
Tom.
from
Tom Cruise.
The other Tom. I
Tom
didn't really
Hardy.
care about it. Oh, so many Toms out there. I didn't really care about him. To me, and it kind of goes off from what was the last one we called? No Way Home.
Far From Home.
This one. Far From Home. I didn't really like Far From Home.
Yeah,
so
Far
much.
From Home was kind of mid.
Exactly. So this is bringing up the hype again for me, but not because I'm excited to see Tom. I'm more excited to see Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Doc Ock. You know, replaying the old actors replaying their old roles. That's what I'm mostly excited for. But then Noah, you brought up an interesting point also, not just with Spider-Man, but also with Doctor Strange, because you said yourself that Doctor Strange is a bit of an underdeveloped character, and we see that even more, that he's being cocky and saying, I could pull off this magic. Just let me work something out.
Yeah, like I mean, in his well, of course, I wouldn't say grows. While he gets an understanding during his own film, the only thing that's really changed is that he has magic now. He's still the same cocky person that started out. He's slightly more empathetic towards others, but I just feel that it's not a big enough difference to see pre and post Doctor Strange film. So it's just, you know, it's just I wish they had more time before they did the multiverse, you know? I mean, Tom Holland's gonna look that young for years. Let's just do more Spider-Man, and how about this time we don't do like an Iron Man influenced villain? You know, give him his own villain.
True. Wait.
Okay, but how about on the bigger picture things? Spider-Man's been said so many times. We've had 3 different actors. We know the story. We know the type of character he is. Kid from the Bronx. So So maybe it is a good thing just to have fun with it at this point, because we know the origin story, we know the type of character, we know the comics. He's the most popular superhero in the world, I like to think.
But I haven't had
So
fun.
you haven't been having fun?
But
Oh
you
man.
didn't have fun
'Cause
with the first one when he was like kind of
it
dicking
was
around?
fine. I understand, because in these other two films, that's ground that's already been treaded. You've explored power comes
Yeah.
with responsibility
Yeah.
before, so with this new version, you want to just have different stories. Well, there are different stories you could tell with this Peter that would develop him and grow him in new ways, but he's just felt very stagnant. And it's just, I get having fun, but at least try to tell something while you're having fun, but you're not. Because the only thing, like, what's the morality in any of these movies? I don't.
It's a movie. I don't think there's supposed to be any morality.
Literally,
To
in
be
Sam
honest, yeah.
Raimi's, the entire thread is power comes great
Yeah.
responsibility,
Yeah,
putting the
it's
greater
very
good
true.
above your own. And I'm not going to speak for the Andrew movies because I haven't seen them, so I'm not going to say anything.
You know,
about them.
I'm gonna say this. The Sam Raimi movies haven't really aged all that well.
I've only seen Spider-Man. I haven't seen any of the other ones.
Like I never saw the second one, and people were like, "That's the one to watch."
That's the one to watch. Yeah. What's taking
But
so long?
but it's like if you kind of go back and look at them, you're like, bro, like people like at the time it was good, but we've done it better since then. You know.
What do you mean, like story wise, CGI, special effects wise,
Everything.
everything. Okay.
At the time,
'Cause
at the time, it was all good. It was like you told a compelling superhero story. You gave comic book accurate costumes, and you made these people really likable and lovable. But we've mastered that at this point, you know. So,
I don't know about that.
You don't think so? Think of the
I don't know if
Guardians.
we've mastered that.
Think of the Guardians, where you introduce a cast of fucking rejects, and they look comic book accurate. They're really lovable, and it's just like, you know, you care about these people.
Yeah, but I can say it's easier to do, but I wouldn't say mastered.
The only reason why I say that is because, like the MCU has been around since we were in like what, middle school, high school.
Ooh, and yes, that was a little kid.
Yeah, it's been a So that's like fucking a long time. Like I'm bad at math, but that is a long time already. Like we are all like in college, if not college graduates, like already.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I'm like, we've done it better. You know, I think my friend was recently telling me, and this is like because we were talking about the Cowboy Bebop movie, the pictures. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. So that's why people, again, you know, shout out to Diego and the Waffle Press, but that's why people like Diego will like say like, oh, the Sam Raimi's like the best movie ever, but it's like, I feel like there's better movies now than that.
I feel like I don't know if it's as great as it was once claimed, but I would still put Spider-Man 2 up there, like top 10 superhero movie. You know what I mean? Because
of all the Spider-Man, yeah. And if we're gonna rank the Spider-Man movie, not just Marvel movies, not just overall movies all time, we're just to rank the Spider-Man movies. I think the Sam Raimi's are probably at the top.
You think
especially
so?
Spider-Man 2. I think so. That's my opinion. Definitely.
I can understand the graphics and special effects, because that is something. Special effects are the quickest to impress and the quickest to disappoint as time goes on. So I understand.
Unless
that,
you're
the story is really solid.
Unless you're Davy Jones and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah,
that will
or Jaws.
No one will ever touch that. That's
or Jaws, the movie Jaws. Like, man, look at that shark.
Does the shark look good still? I have not seen Jaws in fucking forever.
I've never seen Jaws.
You've never seen Jaws? You see the shark like once in a movie.
You could tell it's fake.
But like I would say
that story is a really good story.
It's good. Watch it, Lewis.
Which I
want to say, this conversation.
Jumping back to the trailer.
Okay.
I hope this Doc Ock is a different version of him. Because I just feel like
a variant.
Weird, yeah, like a variant. Because I just don't. If it's that same Doc Ock and he's a villain, then that kind of goes against his progression in the film. You know, at the end when he realizes how much he's fucked up and he's trying to redeem himself. That just it just feels like regression rather than progression. So I hope it's a different version of.
Yeah, and also too, if they do bring back William Dafoe, because I'm like, he died, right? Like
He did, yeah.
So yeah, that would make sense. Like they're like, oh, this is a variant of him. So like it's an
Mhm.
excuse to bring them back as their original characters.
Or it's what's his face? What's his son's name? What's the
James
Barry?
Franco.
it's James
Oh,
Franco.
Didn't like
those-
James
that's-
Franco get canceled or something like that? Like
yeah, he had to settle out of court because of sexual, I believe, it's sexual harassment or sexual assault.
him and Drake from
shit.
Drake and Josh. But
Oh, what's going on, man?
I don't know. But you know what?
Yeah,
What's also going on with the Titans right now? Like, isn't that a whole shit show right now, Noah?
I don't know if it's a shit show. I don't know if either of you watched Titans.
I saw the first
It's
season.
just
That's it.
Nah,
Rudy. Have you ever seen Titans?
no, never.
It's all the sidekicks in DC, pretty much.
Mhm. The live action
I-
one, right now. Yeah,
Mhm.
I haven't.
Yeah, you don't have to watch Titans. Go watch Young Justice instead. If you want a Teen Titans story, even though they're not called Teen Titans, you can go watch Young Justice.
Yeah, Young Justice is
It's
fucking
HBO
fire.
Max.
I haven't saw the new seasons, but
Mm.
the first two, fucking fire. So good.
Oh.
They have no business being that good.
First season might be like one of my favorite like seasons of television ever. So good. But yeah, I just think the Titans, it's the fact that there's this dissonance between liking a piece of media without knowing its influences and knowing the influences and judging said media by the source material. Like if I had known nothing about Titans and had just watched this show straight up, I think it'd be a fine show. It'd be it'd be entertaining. A few things, writing is still weird, but it'd be like, okay, I'll watch this. Why not? But because I've seen Young Justice, I've seen Teen Titans, I've read.
Yeah,
so many-
you're
too many
like the
comics.
biggest Titan fan I know. Like
Yeah,
I want to say it was you who really got me into Titans because
Mhm.
like back at our community college days, I used to tell you how like I liked Red Hood a lot, and you're like, oh, essentially the conversation went along the lines, oh, if you like this B-lister, there's a whole catalog of B-listers who are fucking just as good as him,
Mhm.
and I fell in love with the with Wally West, the original one, the white Wally West, and I was like, holy
Mhm.
shit, just because that dude is just like could never catch a break, and his is like a tragic story. But continue. But yeah, I just wanted to note that you got me into the Titans originally.
I think it's just I just it's similar to Spider-Man, whereas just tying things together. I know that they could be better, and seeing such a strange interpretation of these characters is off-putting to me. Like right now, if I feel like if Rudy watched like Titans, he would think it's okay. Like he wouldn't have any hangups that I do. Like I feel like Rudy, if you watched it, you'd just be like, oh
Yeah.
okay.
yeah,
This is
it's
all
all
right.
right. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
sounds like me.
I think season 2 is better than season 1, but I don't know. I just I understand the snobbery that I'm coming with here,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I just
Nah,
have
bring
my
all
own
bring it
issues
all
with
the
it.
snob.
Bring it all. Yeah.
Oh yeah, when I was talking about Spider-Man, I gave all my snobbery.
You did save it for the podcast, huh? None
I told him
of
to save it, but he had to let it out.
I did
it.
let
It took forever, Lewis. It took too long.
I was picking up my girlfriend and doing errands. My bad.
Okay, Rudy. How you been doing?
Yeah, tell us about your date that happened on Friday.
All right. Yeah.
Wait,
Speaking
today's
of,
Friday. Yesterday.
Speaking of video games, talking about the game of love now. All right. So I went on a date
The
yesterday.
game of love.
No, it didn't. She seemed nice at first.
Can we give her? Can you
so-
give her a fictitious name?
Oh, I'll call her
Make it. It has to be a video game character.
video game.
Cortana.
I was literally thinking Cortana. So we're talking about Halo. Cortana. So like, it was a perfect spot. We went at this nice pasta place over in Hermosa Beach. She seemed really tight. She was tall. She was 5'10", just the
Oh.
way I like them. You know, damn, yeah. Like I'm tall. So things were going good. She was a little shy, a little nervous at first. I was like, okay, but that's all right. I got it. I got her out of her shower, just talking, cracking jokes and stuff. Walked down to the pier, watched the sunset and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kept telling me, and this is where I kind of like, oh, okay, something's up here. She said, I asked her like, oh, like, so what are you doing after we were done hanging out? She's like, oh, I'm gonna go to a karaoke bar with some of my friends. Like, oh, no way. And like, you do karaoke and stuff? Like, yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, I'll be down to go. Like, yeah, I'll be down to go for. And then she never invited me. So it's like,
Oh.
I was kind of hinting, like, yeah, yeah, I want to. Like, yeah, it sounds fun.
Rude.
So I was like, oh, so I kind of hinted here and there, but no, nothing happened. So I go home, and then she starts Snapchatting me, like, oh, hey, like,
Wish you were here.
yeah, exactly. That's literally what happened.
Oh
Yeah, she's
my
taking me
God.
pictures of her drink and what's going on. And I was like, damn, that sounds pretty fun. Like, yeah, you should have came. I was like, what the heck? I should have came. You didn't invite me. So I told her, like, oh, like, what? Hit me with the address. So there I go again, driving 30 minutes out. I have work the next morning. It's like, oh, damn. But here we go.
That's a mistake.
I know that was my mistake. So this is where it gets a little worse. Is that by the time I get there, she's drunk already. Yeah, I was like, oh.
I didn't mean to hit my bike. Sorry, listeners.
No, I didn't even hear anything.
Okay.
So she was already drunk, and her friends are cool though. I'll give her that. I had more time with her friends than karaokeing than actually with her, because she was quiet. She was quiet the entire time. I guess she's just one of those drunks that you space out. I don't know, like you're just thinking eternally. I was trying to talk to her, crack jokes with her and stuff. She was quiet the entire time, and she kept drinking. So she drinks a lot, which to me is kind of a bit of a turnoff.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least like it's not fun for me to be the sober one and then she's the drunk one. So
that's why I tell my girlfriend whenever we go out, I'm like, you better not have a fucking sip of alcohol. I'm just kidding.
During my ride home, yeah, right. But that's it. It's time to go home. I drop her off. I ask, like, oh, like,
so you were the DD?
She was gonna take an Uber. I was like, no, like, save your money. I'll just drop you out, because she's only like a couple blocks away anyway. So I was like, I'll drop you off. Yeah, I was a DD. I was a designated driver.
Okay.
And that's when she's all super talkative. All of a sudden, we're in the car. It's like, oh my God, we only spoke like for 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, she was talking.
Rudy, now question: were her friends cuter?
Make out in the car?
We didn't. We make out in the car. She was drunk. So like, I didn't even want to do anything.
That's why you gotta like quickly get hammered, so it can't. It evens out,
I was thinking about doing. I was like, God damn, I gotta catch up. Give me a straight up Jack and Coke. Forget the Coke,
But were her friends cuter? That's my question.
She had two very cute friends.
That's when you cut your losses and you go talk to the friend.
That was pretty much what I was doing. I was talking to her. Yeah, I was talking to all her friends, so she was staying quiet. So
maybe that's why she stayed quiet, because you're talking to all her friends.
Well, I was talking to her first, and I was trying to talk to her first, but then like at one point I'm like, oh well, I want to make this a good night, so I'm just gonna talk to her friends, play karaoke, sing Santana. But so I know this one was a 2 thumbs down. I'm gonna message her saying like, oh hey, it was good. Yeah, I'm gonna do like, oh hey, it was a cool date. It was a nice time, but I don't know. I don't think there's that chemistry. Just to end it on good terms.
Is it rude, because I've been dating my girlfriend, who's totally real, for some time now?
Yeah.
Is it rude just to like not hit him back up, just to be like, all right?
I would do that. So I did it in the past.
I think that's rude, though.
I think it is rude, yeah.
Is that like the equivalent of like a job not hitting you up, like telling you if you got the job or not?
Yeah, you got ghosted, yeah. Because I've been on both sides of that. I've stopped talking to people, and people stopped talking to me, and it hurts. It's like, oh damn, like at least like just give me a heads up, So yeah, it's kind of change of pace for me. I'm trying to be a little more open, honest about my intentions. So she seems.
You're like, listen, nice person, I'm looking for marriage. I want 2 kids, a dog, a bird, and if you don't want that, get the fuck out.
Get out of here, exactly. Straight up. This is what I want. Can you commit? No, get out of here, exactly. But I have a date tomorrow. Another beach date.
Yeah, you gotta give her another fictitious name.
Oh, okay. Well, she is. What's a good one? What's a good one?
Don't help him.
Laura Croft. Oh my God! Laura Croft.
Her name is Laura. Her name is Laura.
Laura. She's from Lebanon, so she has this really cute accent. Has some nice green eyes. So she lives in Huntington Beach. So
Rudy,
we'll see how it goes.
Did my text message make you laugh when I was like, I've been training the birds all week? It's a
fucking... Yes, man.
Rudy. Yeah. So listen, if we don't have you on the show Friday, if you're busy next Friday for whatever reason, you have to give us some kind of update. Like you got to text me or Noah
Yeah,
to like
and
be
we'll
like,
read it.
yeah, we'll read it. We'll be like, on behalf of Rudy, this is how the date went. Okay.
For sure, yeah. I'll give you guys an update.
Uh,
I'll give you live updates
oh, live.
while I'm at the day.
Yeah, you know what?
We'll have you
Yeah,
on the Discord
we'll
call
read
while
it.
you're
Yeah.
there. You know, I find it so. I find it
Mhm.
okay. Go for it, Noah.
No, go ahead.
Like, I love hearing other people talk about dating because it's like it's one or the other. It's one way or the other. It's either like, yeah, man, and like I love it, you know, like I'm talking to all these men, I'm talking to all these women, I'm
I
hooking
hate
up,
dating.
having
hate
fun.
dating.
Yeah, and then you could fall on the other side of the spectrum, like Rudy, like so fucking exhausting, man. Like
It is.
everyone's all has their head up their own ass, this and that. And so like cause like I've been with my girl so long, I forgot how it's like to fucking date. So I'm just like,
It's terrible, man. And I don't know. I second guess myself. Like, am I being picky or like no. Like, this is very important. You know,
mm-hmm.
No,
like I shouldn't have
I
to
think it's where
settle
your
stuff.
headspace is at. Because if
Yeah, and the
I
reason why I'm
think
doing
if
so
you're,
many dates this week is because I'm in grad school, right? So this is the first week, not a lot of homework. So that's why I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, let's go out, let's go. You're free. I'm free right now. Let's do something, you know? Because in the next couple of weeks, it's gonna be hell, and I don't even know if I'm gonna have the time to go out anymore, you know? So that's why I'd rather
Uh-huh.
just do it now, see what happens. Yeah, who knows? And there's another cute girl in one of my classes, so like, oh, it's gonna get a study buddy there thing going on. I don't know. Let's see what goes on.
What about you, Noah? How's the dating scene?
Yeah.
oh, hmm. Well, you know, the thing about Spider-Man is that he's just so iconic. How can you mess that up? In this 12-part YouTube series, I'll explain through every. Uh,
You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
uh,
No worries.
Come on, we gotta
you
get we
know,
gotta get
as a,
Noah a date.
I trust both of you, and the three people that listen.
Yeah,
To this.
you loyal listeners, we love you.
Loyal listeners. I think it's been a while since I've gone out on dates. I've hung out with people, but I'm not. I don't know. It's been a while since I've dated anyone like consistently. I went on like a date or two with this dude from Rio Hondo, but I don't know. It's I don't know. It's a very weird experience being a bisexual dude because
I've noticed for women, that's like
Mhm,
at least how men perceive it. It's more like
mhm.
socially acceptable, you know.
Uh-huh.
But as for a guy,
Hmm.
like you, like even though you are bisexual,
Mhm.
you are like viewed as gay. Like you like, oh,
Yeah.
you like men and women. All they heard is, oh no, I like men. That's like
Mm.
that's all
Mm.
they heard. Like
I will tell this story forever because I'll never forget it. We were at the artist formerly known as Rose, her house, and there was a party, and her friend was like, "Oh, my friend's asking for you," and I was like, "Oh shit, okay. What do I do? What do I do? I'll just go talk to her." And she was cute. She was a cute girl, and we were talking and something, and I think one of our friends brought up, uh, my preference, and like instantly, like her like the way she talked to me changed, her vibe
Oh,
changed
man.
like right in front of me, and I was like, "Oh, okay," and that's something I'll always remember.
yeah,
And
that's
then,
so like
I don't know.
interesting because like you know as a straight dude, I've never had
Mhm.
that interaction. Like like I've talked to women. I guess you say like I wouldn't say dated, but like we've talked
Mhm.
that were like bisexual or attracted to, you
Mhm.
know, more than men and women, and I was like, all right, that's cool. I don't give
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, all
But
right, cool,
like,
cool.
for the other end, flipped, that's like that's a whole nother thing too. Where it's like women are like, I don't want to be with someone. You know, I'm speaking generally. You know,
Mhm.
but it's like I don't want to be with someone who like is also with men. I would rather be with someone who's with
Mhm.
just exclusively women. So
Mhm.
that's a whole top. Damn, we covered a lot of topics today so
We
far.
did. Video
And
games,
I don't know.
dating, Spider-Man,
It's
dating
just
Spider-Man.
dating Spider-Man. What Spider-Man would you date? I would date Gwen
Toby.
Stacy Spider Ghost
Oh,
because
Toby.
she's
Gotta
a
go with my
drummer.
boy
I have a
Toby.
thing for drummers. For let me tell you,
What about
a
Travis
hot chick
Barker?
drummer.
Okay, name.
Um,
Are there any hot chick drummers? Because I think of drummers like I think of rock stars. It's mostly
yeah,
men.
that's what I'm saying. It's
Uh
like rare.
okay.
I'm gonna
What
look it
about
up
that
right
one
now.
band? Four non blondes. And I wake up morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream at the top of my lungs, let's go.
Lenny Kravitz had a women drummer, but I don't know her name.
I forgot what band it
Carlos
was.
Santana has a drummer. It's his wife, actually.
Though, hey, Carlos Santana is one of our listeners. We're not going to talk about his wife.
Oh, the White Stripes.
The two-man band?
Yeah. Didn't the wife play drums?
I don't even fucking know.
Or the ex. So I know they broke up. So it's.
I know. I saw this post that I also, it was from like a Facebook "Did you know" page kind of thing. It was like, apparently, again, this is all the research I did.
Yeah.
There was like there's a female rock band that I don't know the band name, but this information I'm pretty sure someone could figure out who they are. They would play and they would throw out golden condoms into the crowd, but not actual golden, but like they'd be wrapped gold and whatnot, and whoever caught them would be invited to go backstage and sleep with them. But they would have to use the condom. So I'm like, that's actually kind of baller right there.
Yeah.
Like,
if you're trying to get a date, you're just like, I'm just gonna.
And just imagine too, like being a dude, like, dude, the singer threw a condom at me, and then like, I was lucky enough to sleep with her. Like, that's a cool story to tell.
That'd be
I'm jealous.
And on that note, we are going to end the podcast.
On condoms.
Oh man.
If you guys have made it this far to the podcast, please be sure to give us a follow. If you're listening on Spotify, please be sure to follow and turn on the little bell so you know when new episodes go live, which would be every Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, unless I am lazy and don't edit it in time. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please be sure to follow us and give us a good review, and we'll be sure to give that review a shout out on Apple on the show. As long as you're not saying anything bigotry or hatred, you can be talking shit, but as long as you're not like saying these blanks or this blank, we'll still say it, as long as it's not anything bigotry or hate. And Noah, do you want to do the rest really quick? The rest of the Instagrams and whatnot.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok and I don't know the ads.
So the TikTok is at the TikTok, so it's at the TikTok at the Geek Press at the Geek Press, so it's TheGeekPress. And our Twitter and Instagram is at the Geek Press, so it's DAGEEKPRESS. And if you guys have any feedback or criticisms, much like giving us a review, you could DM us or comment on our Instagram post, or you could add us or DM us on Twitter, and we'll give you a shout out. Be like, at so-and-so said, I agree with so-and-so when they said this about Spider-Man. Or we'll give you a shout out, and we'll name drop. Again, as long as you're not saying anything of bigotry or hatred, you can be talking shit to us. We'll shout you out, but as long as you're not being an asshole. Like, and you know when you're being an asshole.
That's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, you know when you're crossing a line, or if you're just trolling, having fun, we'll say it. But be sure to follow me on twitch.tv/I'm Joshua Joestar, where I'm streaming. Gonna be more than 3 days a week now because I don't have a job.
Yeah.
And follow me on my personal Instagram at I'm Luis Gutierrez and my Twitch Instagram at I'm Joshua Joestar. Now, Noah, you want to do your sign-offs?
Well, you can follow me on Rudy's Alright on Instagram and Twitter. That's RUDYSALRIGHT. And I make a lot of really great Instagram stories. Like, they're really well done. Or you can follow me on Noah Garcia _photography and check out my photography page. And that's it for me. Take it away, Rodolfo.
Yeah. Just follow your heart. And that's what I want to say all the time. That's the one thing you should follow. Follow your instincts, because you never know when you're going to get attacked. And
what if my instincts is saying not to follow my heart, and my heart is saying follow your instincts?
God damn it. Okay, here we go. Here's the Trinity, right? Listen to your brain, follow your heart, trust your gut. There you go. Okay. That's the best advice I'll give you tonight.
And with all that being said, thank you guys for listening to episode 21 of the podcast. And we're trying to get a D&D episode going with the Little Beans campaign. That's the name of our campaign group. But I don't know how we're going to schedule that or how we're going to do that. But I promise you, it's in the works. It's
I
in the
don't know if we're
works.
ever gonna play again.
That's a whole
But
nother
maybe
story.
that'll be the next episode.
That'll be the next episode. Until then, see y'all later. Once again, that has been episode 21 of the Geek Press podcast. And once again, if you guys can, please be sure to like and subscribe. And please follow us and give us a good review on whatever audio platform you're listening to. With all that being said, my name is Luis Gutierrez with the Geek Press, and I'll see you next Saturday. Until then, take care.